Hi everybody, Luis Vila, Communications Coordinator for the City of Maricopa. I'm reporting right inside the brand new Sprouts grocery store with the Senior Project Superintendent, Mike Kelly from AR Mays, who's been working on developing and constructing this very grocery store coming to our community in the very near future. Hi Mike, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the construction process and how everything's gone thus far?
It's actually been a real pleasure to work with the City of Maricopa. From the front office to the building inspectors, fire marshal, fire inspectors, it's gone really smoothly. So here in Maricopa, you guys have done a great job and it's been a great project so far.
And I know some people may be worried that the shelves are empty right now. So when can we expect the actual groceries and everything to be delivered?
The next big step for us here inside the store is going to be to start stocking dry goods. So things are going to start happening real quick.
Final question. Everyone's really want to know, when is Sprouts going to be open?
Well, I hope you're here the 25th so that you can get your tuna salad.
I will definitely be here, and I hope to see all of you here. For all the latest developments and great things happening with the City of Maricopa, please check out what'snewmaricopa.com. Last week, the City of Maricopa came together for the largest community cleanup campaign in the city's history. Individuals from all walks of life rallied and walked throughout their community, picking up litter in a vow to keep Maricopa beautiful. We received dozens of emails from groups showcasing their efforts to keep Maricopa beautiful by collecting multiple bags of litter during the 2-hour only event. To learn more about the next community cleanup event, please visit keepmaricopabeautiful.com.
Good morning, City of Maricopa. We are standing on the north side of town on State Route 347, which is the main entrance into the City of Maricopa. Over the last few years, we've seen tremendous growth with residential and commercial. As growth continues, it gives us the opportunity to do additional projects, one of which is a landscaping project down the 347. It'll go from Honeycutt Road to the north entries of town. This includes trees, landscaping, rock boulders, some metal art deco. There'll be some lighted metal structures all the way down the median. When you pull into the north side of town, we're going to have an impressive monument right in the middle of the road that represents the City of Maricopa, which has been well needed for many years. This project has been years, maybe even decades in the making, with City Council and citizens' requests and responses to increase the beautification of coming into town. We'd like to thank each one of you for the time, effort, energy, and the patience of getting this done. We look forward to having this project completed by the end of the year.
Hi everybody, Luis Vila, Communications Coordinator for the City of Maricopa. I'm reporting right inside the brand new Sprouts grocery store with the Senior Project Superintendent, Mike Kelly from AR Mays, who's been working on developing and constructing this very grocery store coming to our community in the very near future. Hi Mike, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the construction process and how everything's gone thus far?
It's actually been a real pleasure to work with the City of Maricopa. From the front office to the building inspectors, fire marshal, fire inspectors, it's gone really smoothly. So here in Maricopa, you guys have done a great job, and it's been a great project so far.
And I know some people may be worried that the shelves are empty right now. So when can we expect the actual groceries and everything to be delivered?
The next big step for us here inside the store is going to be to start stocking dry goods. So things are going to start happening real quick.
Final question. Everyone's really want to know, when is Sprouts going to be open?
Well, I hope you're here the 25th so that you can get your tuna salad.
I will definitely be here, and I hope to see all of you here. For all the latest developments and great things happening with the city of Maricopa, please check out what'snewmaricopa.com. Last week, the city of Maricopa came together for the largest community cleanup campaign in the city's history. Individuals from
Thank you for being here this evening. I'd like to welcome you to the City Council regular meeting on Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and please ask, got this rearranged here. We're going to have Bishop Eli Carpenter from the Vacana Park Ward from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints come forward and give us an invocation, after which we'll be led in by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Nancy Smith. Please rise.
Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful for the opportunity we have at this time to gather here together for the City Council meeting in this great city of Maricopa. We're grateful for the blessings that we have as citizens of this great country and as members of this great community. We pray at this time, Father, that thy Spirit will be here with us in this meeting. Please bless those in leadership positions, that they will be guided and led in the things that need to be talked about and done to keep the work moving forward here, and to make sure that we provide a community that offers the services that people need and that will meet the needs of those who may not have been able to find their needs met in other places where they've been. We pray for those who are in leadership positions around the world, that they will have a desire to make good choices and to reach out in peace and friendship and brotherhood to those around them. We pray for those who are experiencing difficult times and conflicts, that they'll be watched over and cared for, and that any opportunity that we may have to help out in any way, that we can be led and guided in how to do that. Father, we pray for thy Spirit to be with those who may be perpetuating these conflicts, that they can have their hearts softened, that they can make better choices, and that they can find ways to reach out in love and friendship instead. Father, we're grateful for everything that we have and ask for these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, Bishop. Appreciate it. That'll take us to the roll call.
Councilmember Learman?
Here.
Councilmember Marsh?
Here.
Councilmember Smith? Here. Councilmember Vitiello? Here. Councilmember Wade?
Here.
Vice Mayor Manfredi?
Here.
Mayor Price?
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great. Thank you very much. That'll take us to item 4. We don't have any proclamations, acknowledgements, or awards at this time. Report from the mayor and council. Council, at this time, anything you'd like to report? We'll start with Councilmember Smith and go to Councilmember Marsh.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'm excited tonight, and I was just speaking with some of our residents regarding the redistricting for Pinal County. Today was a very important day. As you all know, or hopefully you know, we've been on the Board of Supervisors for Pinal County for considering all of Maricopa's feedback. There were 127 pieces of feedback from all 5 districts. 69 of them came from the city of Maricopa. So we spoke loud and clear. Map C came out, and it's almost as if we were totally ignored. So we stayed on them, and 3 of the council members went today to the redistricting meeting, and we're presented with map D and E, which completely takes into Maricopa's feedback. So we consider that a huge success. Now that doesn't mean that it will be voted on as the winning map, but what it does mean is tomorrow during their meeting at 1 o'clock, they will be considering map D and E first and foremost, and also receiving input from constituents on map A, B, and C. If you are so led, please provide your feedback between now and noon tomorrow to the supervisors. You can also go online to the Pinal County website and hit redistricting, and then you can also provide feedback immediately right there. And if you're looking for what we support, we're looking at map D because it includes a lot of the general plan area, and map E takes a little bit of the general plan area out. And so we're supporting map D, but we would be happy with D or E at this point. We just consider it a very successful day, and we hope that they follow through tomorrow in putting into place map D and E. On March 18th, we have a senior lunch and learn where the Red Cross in Maricopa is going to come and talk about all that they provide to citizens within the city of Maricopa. I think it'll be a great learning experience. And then there's some other fun stuff, but I'm going to leave it to other council members to bring them up. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Marsh.
It's been a busy week for me as usual, 2 weeks in fact. On Thursday, the 17th of February, I attended the Boys and Girls Club meeting where they presented their awesome growth plans. I think you'll be pleased when you hear about it. On Saturday the 19th, I attended a Microsoft-sponsored city block renewal event in the city of Avondale, met with the mayor and vice mayor. Microsoft is putting in a new data center on the west side of Phoenix, and to celebrate their new center, they did some community outreach projects and spent probably $2 million on these outreach events with various cities. In Avondale, they renewed a block of their historical district and had a 2-day celebration and festival there. I'm investigating with staff here how Maricopa can get in on this program with Microsoft, working with META and the community development team. On Monday the 21st, I met with the video production team from that Avondale event to get more inside information on the program. On Tuesday, the 22nd, the City Council met with Kirsten Sinema. The focus was transportation. Mayor Price gave a wonderful presentation focusing on the 347, the Sonoran Parkway, and the Green Road Loop. On Wednesday, the 23rd, I attended an economist seminar on carbon neutral energy systems. It was a real eye-opener. And I attended a discussion on healthcare futures in Arizona. On Thursday, the 24th, I attended the Pinal County Water Augmentation Authority board meeting. We had an hour-long report on brackish water in Arizona and how we can use it, reclaim it, reprocess it. On Friday, the 25th, I spent the morning helping a recently widowed senior sort through her recently deceased husband's tools. He was a handyman here in Maricopa in his retirement years, and he left her with a garage full of every kind of tool you could imagine. She needs to sell them off to fund a new air conditioner unit for her house. On Saturday, the 26th, I worked the shredding event at Copper Sky. This is an event that Nancy Smith dreamed up and that Elizabeth is running. It was at Copper Sky. Over 100 cars came through. So I'd call it a successful event. That's down from last year a little bit because I suspect more people are transacting business online and they're using less paper. On Tuesday, today, I attended the Pinal County Supervisor's work session in Florence along with Nancy and Vince. And we got to see the new maps that will be in effect for the next 10 years based on tomorrow's voting at 1 o'clock. So I urge you, as Nancy did, to please go to the Pinal County website and look at maps D and E, and please voice in the comments section, add your voice to ours in support of map D, or E if you like that better. But I'm supporting map D. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other council members at this time? Councilor Wade.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This weekend was jam-packed, and I'm only going to say a couple other events and just cursory on one because I know that the principal is here to talk about the event that happened on Saturday. But we got an opportunity to attend the exceptional healthcare grand ribbon cutting, which was a wonderful thing to see. Now that we have a hospital in close proximity, it gives you a sense of comfort, a sense of control on what's going on in your life, and you don't have to travel so long of a distance to get health care, to get some support. It's kind of personal for me in that my wife's father is 93, and believe it or not, he still lives by himself, does his own thing, takes care of himself, but he's 93. So it's nice to have that facility close by in close proximity. After that, I got a chance to attend the Mr. MHS Talent Fashion Extravaganza. It's actually my third time attending, and it's really a great program where the guys get a chance to show off and do their thing. And it's about 9 gentlemen from MHS from Maricopa High School participating, including my fellow council member's son, who did a great job. And that was a wonderful thing. And then finally, I just want to make note, I know we've said it a couple of times, but I just want to say it personally as well. We paid tribute to Mr. Jim Jordan in his passing, former school board vice president, and just a great guy all the way around. And so that's all I have for right now, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
At the event, they spoke about how they've seen 3,000 people since December, in the exceptional healthcare building. 3,000 people. That's a lot of people. Those are people that were taken off the 347 or off the Castle Grande Highway, not going down to Banner Health, not going up to Dignity Places up north, and they were able to be seen here. So it's a great accomplishment for the city of Maricopa and for Exceptional Health to have that here. And they also announced that they'll be expanding already. In 4 months or 3 months they've been open, they understand they have to build bigger, and they're going to be adding more to it. That's pretty cool. And then the thing we did today is we went down to a work session of the Pinal County supervisors, and we were able to express to them, not by speaking, because they didn't let us speak at the work session, of course, and now I know how frustrated you guys are when we don't let you talk about stuff, because I was like, oh man, I wanted to talk, but couldn't. And so it was frustrating we couldn't. So as I said, I know how you guys feel when you can't jump up and say, that's wrong. But I got to say, Nancy has done such a wonderful job in making sure that our voices have been heard. And she stood up since the beginning and fought for it. And I know we have an InterGov job open here in the city of Maricopa, so I don't know if she's interested or not. But I wanted to thank her for that. Other than that, go ahead.
Thank you, council members. Appreciate it. Just in brief closing as well, I'll go back and touch on the cinema event. That was an excellent opportunity. You know, people oftentimes will say, you know, that senator's a party they agree with or disagree with, but you know, here in the city, we're nonpartisan, and so, you know, we really don't care. What we care about is getting stuff done. And so, you know, the fact that a sitting U.S. senator who is exceptionally busy happens to have, for all intents and purposes, the control of the entire U.S. Senate in the palm of her hand, that's a good place to be in. And it's a really good place to have her here locally with us. And we talked extensively about 347 and, you know, what funds we could apply for through the recent Transportation Act that went through, and how can we get that money, and how can we be shovel ready for it, and you know, basically how can we move that project forward faster. So that was a really big deal. And also talked about tier 2 I-11. We talked about the East-West corridor. So all transportation projects that are important to the city of Maricopa. So how do we move our goods and services? How do I get our people to and from I-10 and move people throughout this area? So it was a great opportunity, and I think we'll see real benefits from it. We already have inside information on folks that we need to associate with and talk to get stuff done. The senator's office has been incredibly helpful. So again, these are the types of relationships you want to build. You want to have them at your fingertips because again, you know, these folks don't have time to come everywhere. And so if they're willing to come here and specifically listen to our issues, it's a really big deal. So again, just wanted to harp on that and really say thank you to the senator's office as well as to council and the city for hosting, and we hope to see more of that here in the future. So the other final thing I just wanted to cite as well with the exceptional healthcare ribbon cutting is that I think Vice Mayor had mentioned there's 3,000 people that they have serviced so far, but they also saved 143 lives. That's 143 citizens of Maricopa who, you know, probably wouldn't be here if that location wasn't there. So it's exciting to see them expanding. It's exciting to see the city growing, and you know, just had a report from the city manager today on new retail that is coming to the city. It's very vast and extensive. I think you'll be very surprised when that moment comes and time to announce. But we're getting close, and there's also industry on the way, and so these things are coming. It's a labor of love, and one which we've been working really hard at. But they're on the cusp here, and I look forward to having the privilege with my fellow city council members to talk about those when those times are ready for them to announce. So again, something that we're working very diligently on. That concludes my report at this time, and we'll move to the report from the city manager.
Mayor, I have a presentation later in the agenda, so I'll defer to the...
Perfect, thank you. That'll take us to the call to the public. This time, we would like to give each person that would like to come to the podium and speak 3 minutes. I have a little timer up there for you. It'll click different colors and make some ugly sounds at the end, so you'll know when your time is up. But first, I have 2 speaker cards, and then we'll move to the audience here. First one is Brooklyn. Brooklyn, would you come forward? I would pronounce your last name, but I'm sure I'll butcher it. So would you like to say it for us? And push the little button on that. It's just, there's a little green light that comes on.
Molyneux.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, City Council members, Mayor Price, thank you for the opportunity to provide feedback on the continued beautification efforts for the 347 and the Heritage District. Being a relatively long-term resident of the City of Maricopa, I am very happy with the efforts that have been put forth and the results as it relates to the aesthetics and functionality upgrades within the city. A large portion of the Heritage District was upgraded with new roads, curb, gutter, sidewalk, as well as plenty of new desert-friendly plants. The before and after is a great contrast. And more recently, the beautification of the 347. Although there are varying opinions on this project, I am firmly in the court that it was the right move for the city. So for everyone involved in these efforts, thank you. With the forward-looking leaderships that we have here in Maricopa, there are undoubtedly many improvement projects that are being looked at. One particular project that I believe needs prioritization is South Taft Avenue that runs on the west side of Maricopa High School. South Taft Avenue is used to access many after-school activities, including soccer, football, track and field, volleyball, and much more. With 2,300 students attending, there can be a lot of traffic, and it is not just the high school crowd that uses Taft Avenue. Many Little League events, as well as church groups, use Taft Avenue to access the high school. It's safe to say there are events nearly 7 days a week. Folks from across the state come to see their students participating in various events. For many folks, both locally and from across Arizona, Taft Avenue is the destination. Taft Avenue has a great need to finish up the curb gutter sidewalks on the west side of the road. Many students choose to walk on the west side despite not having a sidewalk, which is very dangerous. In my opinion, it would drastically improve the safety to have both sides of the street finished to today's standards. And then there are the tens of thousands of folks who use Taft Avenue to access events at the high school. They are typically there for many hours as their event takes place. There is no doubt that they are taking note of the missing infrastructure. In closing, I would like to urge the council and the mayor to move any pending improvement projects of Taft Avenue to the top of your priority list. As city leaders have continually made the right choices for the city of Maricopa, the choice to improve Taft Avenue certainly falls in line with those right choices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you, Brooklyn. That'll take us to, do I have this correct? It's either Dennis or Donis? Did I have that? Dennis. Okay, sorry. Your writing's like my writing. I'm trying to decipher it.
I'm not a doctor. I just write like one, right?
Exactly. I missed my calling in life. All right, Dennis Wise, please.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Wise. I'm here representing over 80 homes in Maricopa and also the company Recyclops, and I'm here to talk about recycling tonight. I'd really like to thank you, Mayor Price, members of the council, and staff for giving me this opportunity. I want to talk to you about our company, Recyclops, and what we're doing. I just happen to be in town because we're launching our service in Casa Grande tomorrow, or actually Thursday, sorry. And we operate in, I want to make sure I get this list right, Bullhead City, Camp Verde, Cottonwood, Fredonia, Globe, Kingman, Phoenix, Payson, Pima, Pinetop Lakeside, Patagonia, Sierra Vista, Safford, Thatcher, and Graham County. So we operate in many Arizona municipalities, and overall we operate in 26 states and over 180 municipalities in this country. And let me tell you what it is that we do, because we serve underserved recycling areas. So places where municipalities don't have programs, in many of those places, there's absolutely no recycling available in terms of having it picked up at their home. That's what we bring. We bring that convenience, we bring that capability for people to be able to recycle from their home. And the other thing that makes us different from what exists in terms of large garbage companies, we are 100% an environmental firm. That's all we do, is focus on reuse and recycling. That's it. And our model is quite unique. and this is what changes everything. We are actually a virtual subscription company. So we're just like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Netflix, you name it. We don't actually exist in your municipality. We work with privately contracted drivers that use their own vehicle to pick up recyclables at people's homes. So I'm not here today soliciting the city. We're not looking for a contract or an agreement or a franchise. It's not the way we operate our business. We are a 100% B to C business. But I wanted to let you know what was going on because we are launching, and it is a great benefit to the city because it offers this new meaningful environmental program option to your residents, costing the city absolutely nothing, and it raises your profile in so many of these surveys that people take. Best places to work, best places to live, best places to retire. Recycling programs, curbside recycling programs have a very heavy weight on those surveys. So you can now claim that you have that in your city. And again, everything that we do when we do reuse and we do recycle, it cuts down on the amount of stuff that you're sending to the landfill. That's, first and foremost. And what it looks like from a customer perspective, our base service, we pick up people's recyclables every other week at $12 a month. So there are different levels that go up, including glass and things like that, and every week pickup, but that's the base level. And so we bring this capability at a very affordable opportunity to these folks. And you all have my contact information. I think you've seen this information at some point in the last year or so, but the time is now. We usually start the service when we have 100 homes signed up. We're very close to that time, and again, with launching in your neighbor next door, it's imminent. So I just wanted to come here, pay my respect, and let you know that we're here, and we can't wait to serve your residents.
Thank you, Dennis. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Those are the speaker cards I have. Anyone else at the call to the public at this time? It's open to you.
Tori Anderson. I live here in Maricopa forever. Do you want my address or not? No.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here on behalf of Against Abuse Incorporated. In case some of you didn't know, we had our annual fundraiser this weekend on Saturday night at Harrah's Auction Casino. It was, again, our 17th annual event, and it was sold out again, over 400 guests. So it was phenomenal, and it brought great pride to me as a community member to know that not only did we have the city council members and the mayor and many city officials there, we also had 400 other community members who support our efforts to keep our domestic violence shelter open here in Maricopa. So from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to say thank you publicly. We have raised to date over $70,000, which is fantastic for one event. I'm very happy with that. It's way above what we did at our last event. We also had over 51 sponsors, which means there's too many for me to list publicly right now, but they will be all listed in our print ads, online, on Facebook. But without our sponsors, this would not have been possible. Our community leaders and our community friends made this event possible, and the money goes right to our Maricopa Women and Children's Shelter. One of the statistics which I want to share with you, which I did at the event, but many people were not able to be there because we sold out. I did still have a waiting list, but I apologize. I only had so much room in the ballroom. But next year I'm going to expand it, so that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. But in the 6 years that our Maricopa shelter has been open, we have been able to serve over 6,000 women, children, and men who have suffered the effects of domestic violence, sexual assault, or sex trafficking. And I think that is a huge number for our city of Maricopa, knowing that 6,000 people have been able to be serviced and find the counseling and their needs met so that they can turn their life around and become a productive citizen of the city of Maricopa. Because really, ultimately, that's what it's about, is being able to bring back those community members to serve positively in our community. So I appreciate all that our community members have done. I appreciate the support we've received, and I'm already looking forward to 2023 being a bigger and better event. So email me if you have suggestions of what you want the next theme to be. That night truly was magical, and I thank you all for sharing the magic with me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you, Tori. We appreciate it. Appreciate all your work there. Anyone else at this time like to approach the podium? Tell us what's on your mind. Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the call to the public and move to the consent agenda. Council, I have a request from staff to pull 7.1 and 7.2 for a short presentation because it deals with state land, and Rudy will discuss that. So if I can have a motion to approve items 7.3 through 7.14, that would be the motion to move forward when you're ready. So I have a motion here. Is there a second? And a second from Councilmember Learman. Any further discussion on the consent at this time? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. So that'll take us to the regular City Council meeting agenda, at which point we will move to item 7.1 and 7.2 first. And Rudy, come on up, tell us what's on the docket here.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, I want to just pull this item as we did get this is in regards to our minor text amendments we do on an annual basis. For time to time, we've been doing it now, consecutively now. In terms of the zoning code, subdivision code, so after P&Z Commission recommended approval of this proposed text amendment, we did get a comment from State Land Department in regards to the table 18.80.080, recommending to increase the maximum building height, propose 100 feet to 120 feet. So this is in regards to industrial exceptions components for appurtenances for industrial silos or the components of industrial mechanical areas, things like that allows for exceptional for heights. And based off the state land's best practices for highest and best use, we have at least three state land pieces in the city. If we ever want to be advantageous to promote or at least attract good type of developments in the city, they highly recommend that we increase our height limits to 120 feet to attract good potential projects for types of industries that could give us the highest and best land use for state land properties. So with your consideration, staff does support this request, and it's for the mayor and the council to go and consider the additional amendment to the proposed text amendments.
Perfect. Any questions on that statement? Increase it by really 20 feet. Any concerns? Okay, seeing none, I think we're good to go. So anything else, Rudy, on that? All right. We'll take these individually then at 7.1 to the resolution. Again, the resolution of the Mayor and City Council, City of Maricopa, Arizona, declaring as a public record with a certain document filed with the City Clerk entitled 2021 Amendments to Title 17, Subdivision Title 18 Zoning, regarding the rules and regulations relating to the subdivisions and zoning within the City of Maricopa, and amending Section 17.20, Section 18.35, Section 1835, Section 1835, Section 1845, 1850, 1880, Section 1880, Section 1890, Section 1895, Section 115 of the Maricopa City Code. So with that, can I have a motion to approve, please? Take the motion in a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. And this item 7.2, this is the ordinance that goes along with that. The ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Maricopa, Arizona, adopting 2021 amendments to Title 17, Subdivision and Title 18 Zoning by reference to amend certain provisions of the Maricopa City Code and providing for the severability and the effective date thereof, obviously for discussion and action. We've just discussed this. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
There's the motion and a second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Excellent. All right, and that takes us then to item 8.1, which is the regular agenda. This is the Mayor and City Council to hear a presentation of the City Manager, Horst, regarding the current state of the housing market. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This presentation was actually provided by Home Arizona to GPEG recently regarding the greater Phoenix area, which we are part of, the housing market. And I thought it appropriate to at least share segments of this presentation with you because of our current environment, number one, and number two, we have discussed at great length over the last several years the circle of life housing that's needed to support our community, and yet there are those who still misunderstand the need for this variety of housing stock. So I wanted to share and walk through some slides that can better paint this picture. Next slide, please. So this is the Arizona homeowner vacancy rate, and it starts way back in 05 up into the third quarter of 21. And you can see the vacancy rates have just been dropping dramatically. Next slide. This is the rental rates, or the apartments or others, and you can see it's following a very similar pattern in that there is more need than there is ability to fulfill that need. Next slide. You can see that our population is growing dramatically. We've been averaging about 90,000 new residents a year, and we're building housing to support about 45,000 new residents a year. It doesn't take a math genius to figure out that we can't keep up. And if we don't have the new members moving in, we can't staff all the new economic jobs that are coming in and all those things that are beginning to happen. Next slide, please. So this one shows particularly the slide, and if you look, you have the single family, then you have multifamily, and then you have the area that's known as household formations. So when you look at the white blocks at the top of each of those, we're finding new families formulating, looking for housing is greater, at a greater pace than housing availability. So every time someone gets married or a new family comes together, whatever shape or form that looks like, that's happening at a faster pace than there is housing for them. And this is not just people moving in, this is also people who already live here. Our children, in some cases our grandparents, a second marriage, or whatever those things may be, that's going forward. Next slide. So this is our employment, and you can see the two down was the big recession, and then of course the big COVID hit, but you can see that our employment numbers are some of the top in the state. These are high-paying jobs. These are high-skilled jobs that are coming to our community. These are the jobs that will keep local taxes lower. As you know, the state has recently talked about lowering and moving forward to lower the state income tax. It's because of growth and jobs that are coming, but these jobs can't be filled if people don't have a place to live. Next slide. Again, this is our population growth. You can see we've been steady. We're about, just shy of 2%. We anticipate the same growth going into year 22 and the year 23. So about 90,000 new residents each year. Next slide, please. This is our Arizona population by age, and you can see that the largest population is in that 24, 25, 26, to 32 range, which is usually when they're looking to buy their first home. And you can see that that's the greatest segment, and they're having the hardest time buying homes. Next slide. So this is the home ownership rate by groups. So when you look at the 25 to 34 and the 35 to 44, they are a very low percentage of them who have home ownership. Now, why is that? Takes more down payment. Here in our city alone, 3.5 years ago, the average household value was $225,000. Now it's $400,000. How do you get into a home? How do we recruit police officers or school teachers to come to our community to live if they have no place to live, whether it's a home or whether it's a rental unit? So you can see that the people who are starting life are having the most difficult, and these are the positions we got to fill. Next slide. It's interesting now that 46% of all 18 to 29-year-olds are living with a parent. Why? We know why. They can't get into a home. They're willing to rent a place, but there's no place to rent. It just doesn't exist. So we see that, the 60s was the lowest, 29%, and now it's almost 46% in 2020. And the number is just steadily going forward. Next slide. So the Greater Phoenix month's supply, the days on inventory currently are 23 days for homes under 350,000, 10 days for under 350,000. Inventory due homes is down to 1,631. Just 18 months ago was 542. Now 1,631 seems like a lot, but remember that's in a population grouping of about, Phoenix area represents about what, 4 to 5 million people, maybe more? That's a pretty small number. Pretty small number. That's why when you go to buy a home, you have to do a lottery or you're paying 10, 20, 30% higher trying to get in. And how do the startup workers compete in that market? Next slide. So prices are increasing rapidly. Apartment rents are actually outpacing single-family rents or single-family sales, resales, but both are still pushing 30%, which is significant. And you cannot have this big increase in housing without a significant supply-demand imbalance, okay? Next slide. So here, the diminishing housing affordability. Now, for some reason, some have this mindset that affordability implies something bad. In my opinion, affordability means people can afford to live somewhere and be able to do so on the income levels that the market has determined is a fair and appropriate rate. We hear now that, people are taking home more money, but the gap between the increase in salary and what they can pay and spend is also growing at a faster pace than the increase in salary incomes. Next slide. So affordability, you see the changes across there, and I'm going to skip on to the next slide because I think it paints a much better picture. So the top one was year 2020, and if you can look where it says nurse, and the green represents they had the ability to buy or they had the ability to rent a 2-bedroom. You go 1 year later, look at the difference. All those green blocks go away, and a nurse now barely can buy. You look at the police officer. You look like a firefighter that had the ability to rent a 2-bedroom, and now they can rent either a 1-bedroom or nothing at all. Look at all the red. Look at a chef. Look at a school teacher. Look at a worker or a wait person in a restaurant. We want restaurants, we want retail in our community. We have to provide a place for them to live. The biggest issue I have now, as stated, we're meeting with international and national companies for large industrial, high-tech development in our community. That's number one question they ask is, where are my employees going to live? Okay? So I want to emphasize how troubling this is when you go on across, and now, remember, red means you can't buy, you can't rent a 2-bedroom, and you can't rent a 1-bedroom. So it's critical that we have this stock, for the single mom, for the person who lost a spouse, for the family that's just getting started, for the professional person, for the person that says, hey, I'd like to take a job here, but I have to commute 45 miles or 45 minutes to go to work every day. I just as soon stay in that other community and work there. But of course, they're having the same problems we're having. So of all of the slides, I thought this one told the story the best. And when you look at a nurse, I can't hardly read that, but I think it says $80,000 a year, and a police officer $78,000. That's not low income, but they can't afford a home. So we need to be about providing a home. And as you recall, most of us started in a rental unit. If I polled everyone in this room, most of us are going to raise our hands and say, yes, that's where we started. But for some reason, we begrudge other people starting that way for whatever reason. So I think the whole purpose of this is to say, yes, we are building more. Now, I want to indicate to you that, yeah, we've had a lot of multifamily. Right now, everything we're talking about will represent 4% of our housing stock, just 4%, which is nothing. We got 24 or 5,000 single-family homes, 4%. 1,000 units. And it's nothing. But I need my police officers, I need my school teachers, I need my chefs to work on all these restaurants everybody wants, I need the people that work in the retail centers. If you're gonna make $20 an hour, fine, but if I have to travel here from another city, I'll just take the $20 an hour in that city. So if we want all these things, we have to build the infrastructure for it. And infrastructure doesn't mean roads or bridges, it means housing stock as well. I think there's another slide or two, if I'm not mistaken. So what happens if the affordability situation continues to deteriorate? Fewer potential buyers can afford the median-priced homes. Fewer people will be owners. More people will be renters. More rental of single-family units as families double up. More millennials, Gen Zs living with parents. We already saw that number. Smaller homes, more density, fewer workforce housing units, on and on and on, but also more homelessness. When someone who has a good job, in some cases 2 jobs, and pulling in $45,000, $50,000 a year, has to be homeless, live in a car, there's something wrong with that. So let's give them a place to live. It may be a 1-bedroom, may not have quartz countertops, but it's going to be clean and neat and protected, and they'll feel value, and as they move through the stages of life, they'll get out of it. I mentioned one of the apartment builders that wants to come that says in his apartment complex, their turnover rate's only 4%, where nationwide it's like 40-something%. And he says, you stay in my units for 5 years, I'll give you $10,000 cash to put towards your first home. Isn't that what we want? The ability to step up and move people forward. So I wanted to just share this, and it is from Pollock and Company, which is a well-known, very credentialed company who did this study and put this forward. But we're talking about new hospitals. We're talking about, but a nurse. We're going to have what? Second phase, exceptional health, these other hospitals coming. A nurse making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. Can they buy a home? Or do we have to provide some other stock of housing until they get to where they can buy a home? And I think that might be the last slide. Okay, a few more. Well, very simple. Do the math. To get supply and demand back in balance over the next 5 years, we need an elevated total of about 42,000 units a year. Right now, we're building 35,000. I don't mean our city, I mean the region. But every year, we're falling further and further and further behind. Yet every year, we keep working to recruit more jobs, more industry, more people moving in, and we got to find that balance. Now, some would say, don't let them move in. My answer is, okay, but expect your taxes to go up, not down. You know, we circle up or we circle down. That's all there is to it. So I wanted to just stress again that I feel very confident with your leadership in our housing stock. We have a good balance. We have the right balance. We are providing opportunity to grow not only their life and increase their financial prowess, but the cities as a part. They're all linked together. And I think that concludes my presentation. Yeah, we'll skip that slide. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions for the City Manager at this time? There's no action to be taken on this particular item, but again, I think that lends the story home as to where we're at and where the market's at and how things have evolved. It's an interesting story to be told, not only locally here in the city of Maricopa, but across the region, across the state, and all of Arizona. And so it's a real challenge, a real issue, and something that we're really faced with. Councilmember Marsh.
Yes. City Manager, I recommend that you give this presentation to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Yeah, it's a good idea, actually. So hopefully, if you can send us this presentation, I know it's on stuff we can access or download, but you know, I think it'd be a good idea and good thing to have to make sure that press has it. So, yeah, that'd be great. So. Okay, anything else at this time? I don't think so. There's nothing else on the agenda. We do not have a knee session to go to. So, Council, I know you can all run home and watch your recorded State of the Union address. So, get right to it. All right, with that, can I have a motion to adjourn, please? Motion, is there a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. See you again in 2 weeks.